All right, this is a 2-year-old named Creeks Rey that it's a pretty natural horse. He's probably our best cutting prospect that we've got going right now. He's by dual Rey and out of a mare named Kittens, and he's got a lot of really natural stop and draw. So I've really enjoyed riding him. We're going to work some cattle on him this morning, but I just want to start out nice and quiet. That's one of the 5 principles for effective horsemanship. Principle number 1 is start quiet, end quiet. Principle number 2 is get the fresh off. Principle number 3 is find the resistance. Principle number 4 is be willing to compromise. Principle number 5, always quit on the try. Okay, so right now we're in principle number 1, which is just start quiet, end quiet. And this is kind of the way that I always like to start these young horses. Is just walk them in a nice circle, get their body to sort of arc around my leg, and get their neck and their head soft and relaxed, and get their rib cage kind of. This colt really likes to push against my legs and kind of brace his rib cage, so I'll just go around here and just try to soften up this rib cage a little bit. I'd like to see him just sort of relax and put his head down and step those feet around. That was pretty nice. Go back the other way a little bit. You'll see that this colt is in the snaffle bit, and the way I see it, the snaffle bit has one purpose, and that's to get a horse to following his nose or following your feel. Get his nose to follow your feel. It's a device that operates from a direct pull. In other words, when I pull on the right rein, it applies pressure to the left side of his mouth. I mean, I know I'm stating the obvious there, but that's what I use the snaffle bit for, is just to get that nose of the horse coming and getting his front feet to follow that nose. Because when I can get control of his nose and his front feet, then we can really go to working a cow. And essentially, that's all a cutting horse needs to do, is to follow that cow with his nose. So that's what I like to do. I just work on the fundamentals. I'm no cutting horse trainer at all, but when I've got a good one, I feel like I need to sort of do things the right way. So see if he'll follow that nose right around right there, and that's pretty darn good. Okay. So I'm going to trot him around a little bit and trot him and lope him around and try to get the fresh off of him. He's not super fresh, but I'm going to go ahead and move him around a little bit. Courtney, push him back right to the middle, please. I like to trot these young horses more than lope. I feel like it helps them with the dexterity of their front end, their front feet, and helps to build the muscle structure in their top line and really gets them to reaching with all 4 feet. And I feel like mentally it's better for them. I do lope quite a bit too, but I feel like the long trot is better. And this colt's not a big fan of the long trot. He wants to break into a lope, so I just sit there and break him, push him back up into the trot. Loping's easier for him than trotting is. Once you get him right, Courtney, just go back to the outside of the pen. There you go. I always try to keep your horse on the outside of my horse if you can, all right? Lope him a little bit. Like I said, this colt doesn't get real fresh, so I don't feel like I need to lope him for an hour before we start working. He works a little bit better when he's a little fresh, so I don't want to just ride him into the ground before we start working cattle. Pretty good. I'll let him straighten up and stop. Draw just a hair. Go the other way. He's kind of wanting to push on my hands a little bit there, so I'm just going to kind of hold his face with my hands and drive him up there with my feet. Ask him to kind of lift those shoulders, soften up to my hands going forward. There. It's all pretty good. He's kind of softened up, so let him stop right there. And so he's not feeling real free in his front end this morning, so I'm just gonna got him warmed up a little bit. So now I'm just gonna do a couple little exercises here to get his front end kind of freed up. Because when I go to working a cow, all I really want to have to do is just take this inside rein and bring his nose with that cow. And so I don't need any resistance right there. I need him to be soft in the face and free with those front feet where he can be ready for anything, and he can step them around and put them wherever they need to go without sort of getting tangled up and clogged up. So right there, he's got to get back on this rear end a little bit more. So I'm just gonna ask for a soft face. And I'm not putting tons and tons of pressure on him right here. I'm just applying a little bit of outside rein. I'm asking for a soft face and applying a little bit of outside leg to push him through that right there. Okay.